with Consortium News, also Indie Media Award honoree, who will actually be live on Wednesday night with Misty Winston on her TNT radio show with Kathy Vogan. They will be there for World Press Freedom Day. And Consortium News was actually targeted by Hamilton 68 as being Russian, quote-unquote, disinformation, as was Joe, specifically. Joe's great. Joe used to work for the Boston Globe. He reported from Iraq. Joe's outstanding. So here's what Joe wrote. The State Department and Senate leaders are trolling Julian Assange. So this was actually posted in ScheerPost, picked up in ScheerPost, posted by Consortium News. So we've got a double. Yeah. The following is an address delivered by Consortium News editor-in-chief Joe LAURIA at a rally for Julian Assange in front of the U.S. Department of Justice building in Washington on April 11th, the 4th anniversary of Assange's arrest, organized by the one and only Sarcasm Stardust, Misty Winston. Quote, here we go. At our last rally in front of this Justice... At our last rally in front of this Justice Department building last October, which actually coincided with the release and launch of the Indie Media Awards, Joe read a letter that he had written to Attorney General Merrick Garland. Now, there's a more important letter delivered to Garland, drafted by Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib and signed by 6 other House members. This letter is part of the increasing pressure being brought by politicians and the public on the DOJ to drop the charges against Julian Assange. And it is slowly showing progress, thankfully. In Australia, Foreign Minister Penny Wong was directly asked in Parliament by Senator David Shoebridge whether Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Albo, asked President Biden directly about Assange when they met in San Diego in March. Wong waffled. She said, Australia follows the rule of law. She said that Australia can't interfere in an ongoing legal process in another country. But Wong is full of crap. The Australian government has...
Waffle stomped.
Oh, God, no. Oh, now I'm going to have that image in my head. But Wong is full of crap. The Australian government has, through diplomatic intervention, won the release of 6 Australian citizens from foreign jails since 2007. David Hicks from Gitmo, Melinda Taylor from Libya, James Ricketson from Cambodia, Sean Turnell from Myanmar, Kylie Moore Gilbert from Iran, and Peter Grest from Egypt. So, yes, there is precedent for this. The legal process in Turnell's case, for instance, was still ongoing as, like Assange, he'd only been charged but not convicted. Australian Foreign Affairs Minister at the time, Liberal Maurice Payne, issued a statement demanding Turnell's release, something the Labour government refused to do for Assange. Payne said Turnell, quote, is a highly regarded advisor and member of the academic community in Australia. We called in the Myanmar ambassador into the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade to raise our concerns in relation to this, and we will continue to do that and press stronger for Professor Turnell's release. The Hicks case is starker. He was never put on trial by the U.S. after years in Gitmo, yet Australia intervened to free him while that legal process played out. Albo encouraged the Australian High Commissioner in Britain to visit Julian in Belmarsh at the beginning of April. Julian's father, John Shipton, told Consortium News that the visit was tremendous and substantial. He said it was the beginning of the end for his son's ordeal, or at least he thought so. Albo has been forced to finally say that he is meeting U.S. officials at appropriate levels, but what is the appropriate level? Head of government to head of state? Biden's headed to Australia in May. Will this be the moment when Albo finally confronts him? My guess is no, because they're starting to fearmonger and saber rattle about China. And they've been bringing in all these, if you read Caitlin Johnstone, Caitlin has been talking about how they've been fear-mongering against China and bringing in all these defense experts explaining why Australia needs to build up their arms against potentially a Chinese invasion, although like 80% of their economy is dependent on China. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's totally on our behalf because of Taiwan. There is another bizarre way in which the message is getting through and the pressure's building. It's a case of what can be called psychological appropriation. That is, taking something from your enemy and making it your own. I'm still old enough to recall the reaction to Jimi Hendrix's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock in 1968. There was outrage from conservatives. How could he desecrate the national anthem? And the fast forward 34 years, I walked into Madison Square Garden in 2004 for the RNC, and what did I hear in the loudspeakers? Jimi Hendrix's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. The Republicans played this. That's the one where he literally set the fucking guitar on fire at the end, okay, at Woodstock. And now we have Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer and the State Department saying journalism is not a crime. Where have we heard this before? Of course, they were speaking about the Wall Street Journal reporter imprisoned in Russia on espionage charges. Are they aware that this has been Assange supporter slogan for years? Are they trolling him? Are they trolling us? Or is it just some subconscious internalization? I would say that they're trolling us. So what or who is stopping Biden from dropping the charges? The DNC and the CIA. Before the DNC leaks and the Vault 7, for which Julian was not charged, Biden as VP told Meet the Press in 2010 that unless they could prove Assange actually stole the documents, that they could not charge him. And they proved that he didn't.
Yeah.
And then the Obama administration didn't. So what changed? The indictment is about those 2010 leaks, so that didn't change. It was WikiLeaks, DNC leaks, and Vault 7. The DNC and the CIA would be mighty pissed off at Biden if he dropped the charges. It's the same thing they did to Trump.
Bush.
It was WikiLeaks
to
Trump. It was WikiLeaks, DNC leaks, and Vault 7. DNC and the CIA, like I said, would be mighty pissed. What is the cost of Biden politically if he has the charges dropped? What would he gain? Unlike Albo, there is not the groundswell of public and political pressure building in the U.S. as in Australia, though Tlaib's letter is a start. And so are rallies like this. It may seem small, but it is significant in putting the pressure on Biden and Garland to finally do the right thing and not the expedient thing. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange now. Free Julian Assange yesterday. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Misty Winston, for organizing that and for allowing us to have that space for Joe to give that speech. That's flipping awesome. And I want to go back to the thumbnail for that article. Hold on, right here. Because that's a great picture of Joe giving the speech on the 11th in front of the banners. Right down even on the floor. Merrick Garland, free Assange. It says right there in red, white, and blue.
Misty should be like 5 feet to the left.
Yeah, she's probably right over here. Yep. Exactly.
Other way. Other left.
Other left. Yeah, the other side. Yeah, over here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe. And that was before the guy,
like literally,
that was right before the guy stripped naked and tried to set himself on fire.
Yep.
Reef was actually co-streaming that and very expertly decided to cut away very quickly. Exit stage left. Yes, that's correct. For sure. Yep. And good job on Reef to cut away and to not get us demonetized or deplatformed for having naked guy on the street. Yeah. Where was I? I was somewhere with my kids and Reef's like, are you watching this? I'm like, no, I'm out with the kids. He's like, there's a naked guy on the screen. I'm like, wait, what? Naked guy.
I was like, Reverend Annie Chambers almost ran over a guy. Like,
right? Ian Schlafman almost got into a fight. It was a crazy day. So, free Julian Assange. Free all the political prisoners. Free Daniel Hale. Free Mumia. Free them all.
Yep.
All right. So I have
Uhuru.
Oh yeah. Ugh, God. Free O'Malley. Free the chairman. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. It's like the list just gets bigger. You know.
Yeah. Who's next? And you know what? Free Evan Gershkovich too. Journalism is not a crime.
Yeah.
Although he was probably trying to spy for the Wall Street Journal over there. Somebody said he was literally just asking people at a plant as they were coming out of work questions. That was considered spying. And that's how he got arrested.